everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'll be decluttering with you some of my LA Girl collection, so let's get into it. LA Girl is one of those brands that are super affordable. They are a drugstore brand, typically available at different CVS's, but also at Ulta. And they have a lot of good products, but for some reason I haven't been purchasing that much from them in the last maybe a year or so. So I think majority of my items are probably quite old, and it seems like I don't have such a large selection of LA Girl products to begin with. But I'm sure some of these are ready to be let go of, probably expired, and I'm thinking I'm gonna keep a couple of these at least. But let's take a look what I have in my collection. So and I say only just because my collection is so huge, I only have 12 products from LA Girl, which I think is really good for me. Now let's start with the lip products. These are all really old. As you can see, they're pretty dusty. I think it's time to let go of all of them. But let's see if I can swatch them. So I have two of the matte flat velvet lipsticks. The first one is in the shade Love Triangle, and then I have one in the shade Raven. And already the purple one, which is here, smelled really funky. However, the black one is still okay. The shade Raven, I think I'm gonna keep it just because I might need a black lipstick. I mean, what are the odds? But I don't want to purchase a new black lipstick in case I do need it. So I'm gonna hold on to it and letting go of this one in the shade Love Triangle, which has clearly gone bad. But the shade Love Triangle looks really pretty as well. So if I ever need this kind of shade, now I know that that is a beautiful shade. The black one still even performed quite well. I also have this flat finish pigment gloss, which I'm not even going to swatch it. This is super embarrassing. This is clearly so old. I don't know if you can see it. I used to really like it. I think I've used this in several looks on Instagram years ago though. So clearly too old to be held onto, but I remember really liking this one. I just thought it's kind of contradictory that it's called matte gloss, but it's more like a satin finishy liquid lipstick. Then I have one complexion product. This is their Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Dance. And this one I held on to because it was a bit of a different shade that I don't have in my collection. And since it seems to be performing quite well, I think I'm going to hold on to it. It is something I definitely don't have in my collection. And if I ever need this kind of shade again, I don't want to go and purchase another one of these shades that I use once in a while, just because I let go of the one I had. And I still have room to store things. I think it would be different if I lived in a small apartment somewhere. This one would definitely go. But since I do have room for it, I'm going to hold on to it just because it's unique in my collection. I still have two lip products. These are the Ultimate Lip Intense Stay Auto Liner. I have them in the shade Keep It Spicy and Enduring Mauve. And here is the Enduring Mauve and then Keep It Spicy. They seem to still work. They felt creamy, and I do like this formula, so I'm gonna hold on to these both. I think they might be at the end of their life cycle though, so probably will need to declutter soon since they're probably quite old, but these are really good lip liners. And they are the automatic, you just twist and then you can use them, which I like. But then I have these LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencils, and I used to like them. I just don't anymore, and I'm not entirely sure if these are even usable. No, this one has completely dried up. I had this in the shade Medium Brown, and this one was probably the closest shade match, which is really interesting because I have rather dark blonde hair. But the shade that is called Taupe that I have in here was just too warm. It pulled really red on me. I couldn't use it. And this one I haven't even opened. I think I had another one that I let go of. I don't know if this has dried up. If it hasn't, I'll give this to someone else who can try it. And the same is for the shade Auburn. And I'm not entirely sure why I even have the shade Auburn. If the taupe one was too warm for me, then the Auburn one clearly wasn't going to work. I feel like it came with a shipment. They sent me the wrong shade and then I had to reorder and get the right shade. That's why I have it. But I am going to let go of these. I'll open them and see if they're still usable and then give it to a friend. This one has dried up and has to go. Then I have one Pastel Dream eyeliner pencil in the shade Powder Blue. And this one, it's maybe a little over a year old. It's not too old, seems to be still working. This is one of those kind of shades too that I rarely need, but I want to hold on to in case I ever need it, just because I don't want to purchase another one. Now, this might be something that a lot of people don't do when they declutter, mainly because they might have such big of a collection. I know a lot of people would probably declutter this since it's so marginalized shade, but I try to save money where I can. And if I think that I'll use it at some point, I'm not gonna let go of it just because I don't need it now. I don't have unlimited funds, and I also do have the space. So I'm gonna hold on to it, but probably at the end of its life cycle as well. Now the two eyeshadow palettes, I already know I'm going to keep the Desert Dream eyeshadow palette. This isn't that old, and there are some shimmer shades that I absolutely love. Here are some of them. This one is the top row blue. Then I have this green, which I really enjoy. And then this one's more of a eyeshadow topper. And then I have the other blue here as well. These pastel shades are beautiful. At one point, everyone was coming out with pastel palettes. I didn't purchase any because I already had this one. It is just a stunning palette. The matte formula is pretty average. It's not the greatest, but the shimmer formula is absolutely beautiful. And I think I got this for under $10. Ulta often has sales on LA Girl items, so definitely worth giving a try if they still have this one. But I do think that this format of palettes from LA Girl has been really good. They have several different color stories, and this formula is really good for the price. And the last item I have here is their iLux Mesmerizing Mini Palette in the shade Hypnotize. And this is a 4-pan eyeshadow palette with a bunch of kind of cool neutrals. Now, unfortunately, when I swatched it, I noticed that it has gone bad. These shades definitely weren't like this when I purchased it. They feel very dry and none of them have the color payoff that they used to. So I'm gonna let go of it, but I did like this once upon a time, but this is also probably several years old and now it has expired and has to go. So here is my entire LA Girl collection. I didn't have such a big collection, which is a good thing. I have too many items, and I am happy to report that I am letting go of 6 and I am keeping 6. So I'm keeping half, letting go of half, which I think is a pretty successful declutter, especially for a small collection of brand specific items like this. Palette definitely keeping. I think it's really good. The lip liners and the eyeliner still seem to work, so I'm gonna hold on to them at least for a little bit. The same with this matte flat velvet lipstick in the shade Raven. I mean, I'm probably not going to use it a lot, but I might get some use out of it on Halloween. If I haven't used it next Halloween, I'm gonna let go of it. And then this blush, as long as it's still usable, I'm gonna hold on to it just because it's such a unique shade in my collection. Now the rest of the items definitely gone bad. These lipsticks, same with the eyeshadow. And then I'm gonna see if I have a friend who would like to try the Shady Slim brow pencils in the 2 ones that I haven't opened, the taupe and the auburn. This dried one, of course, I'm gonna have to let go of. But these were all my LA Girl items, and I'm happy that I had a smaller declutter to offer you this time, because I kind of feel embarrassed how big my brand specific collections are, and this one is like more understandable collection. I think anyone could have this many items from LA Girl, so I don't feel as bad. And now that I end up only having 6 items from them, I really don't mind my collection at all. If you own any LA Girl items, let us know in the comments section what you like and what is worth trying out from them. I know they're like 5 or 4 pan eyeshadow palettes have been all the rage lately, and I've been eyeing a couple of them, so I might try those. Are there any products you wouldn't recommend from LA Girl? I honestly think these were a little bit overrated. The shady slim brow pencils, they are very narrow. I think you can create very detailed brows with them, but I do think they dried really quickly, and I think there are better eyebrow pencils in the drugstore. These were probably just really affordable. I mean, they're not bad, I'm not saying that. I just don't think they live up to the hype they once had. But I do think in general, LA Girl is one of those better, super affordable brands, and they are pretty consistent. I feel like you definitely get what you pay for. But these were all the items from LA Girl in my collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, I hope you subscribe. And if you like these kind of videos and want to see more of their kind, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.